Promoter Eddie Hearn claims he made a massive offer to Jermall Charlo through IG. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We work. Wow. Sign up for ESPN Plus below using my link. It does definitely help the channel. Michael Benson, link in the description. He's quoting a Sirius XM boxing interview with Eddie Hearn, who says, and I quote, "I've made Jermall Charlo an offer to fight Andrade for 2 to 3 times as much as he's ever made. Can't get a reply. You've got this guy who works for PBC, Tim Smith, going, quote, I don't know who he's making offers to. I've got it on my phone. Talking to him on Instagram." What is Eddie Hearn doing in America, bro? Like, this looks bad. This is Eddie Hearn. Okay, so in case, just to catch you up to speed, Tim Smith is one of Al Heyman's right-hand men. He's in the loop. I see him every PBC fight that I've went to. Yeah, pretty much. I always see him. He's always there. He facilitates different things. You know, I don't know his full job description. You can contact them for it, but he does a lot. Tim Smith said in a PBC podcast, so you know they have their own podcast or whatnot, that he's heard the rumblings that Charlo was offered something from Eddie Hearn, and he says it sounds good. I'm sure he did make an offer in his head somewhere. Watch, let me see if I can pull it up. Boom. PBC's, Heyman's, just so we have like direct quotes, because new media, I like to hit y'all with that direct. Yeah, I know y'all like that direct, huh? PBC's, Heyman Boxing's Tim Smith on Eddie Hearn saying he made Charlo versus Andrade an offer. Quote, if his lips are moving, you can't necessarily believe what's coming out. I don't know who he'd made an offer to. I'm sure in his mind somewhere, he made it to someone. He said that direct quote on a PBC podcast. Now, let's TiVo this. Now Eddie Hearn is replying to that, saying, I have made an offer to fight for Charlo to fight Andrade for 2 to 3 times as much as he's ever made, and I can't get a reply. You've got this guy who works for PBC, Tim Smith, going, I don't know who he's made offers to. I've got it on my phone. Talking to him on Instagram. This looks bad. Eddie Hearn looks like a fish out of water in America. He really does. And this is sad. New media. Just listen to, like, I could have been a detective. Listen what he said. I made an offer to Charlo, right? Who cares about the money? Because the offer didn't get accepted. So you got to learn to filter out some of the information you're receiving from Eddie Hearn. So I'm going to cut the fat for you guys. I'll do that. No problem. I've made an offer for Charlo to fight Andrade. I can't get a reply. But by the end, he says, I've got it on my phone, talking to him on Instagram. So how did you talk to him if you can't get a reply? I mean, this is like juvenile detective work. Like, this is like real elementary, my dear Watson. How did you make an offer to somebody via Instagram, IG, and you said you can't get a reply even though you offered him massive money, but then you said you talked to him? So Tim Smith sounding accurate. You can't believe what Eddie Hearn is saying if his lips are moving, because that doesn't even make sense. Beyond that, why would you make an offer through Instagram? That's no better than Tank Davis and Tevin Farmer beefing on Twitter, talking crap to each other and expecting that's how the fight's going to get made. That's not how business is conducted. You don't get a fight merely because, like, it could spawn from Twitter fingers and a Twitter war, and then the networks and different people see that, oh, okay, this, we could actually make this. And then, you know, paperwork is done and teams sit down. Okay, I can understand like something came about from social media, but that's not how the fight actually made. Why are you sending business proposals and offers via social media? I mean, this just looks, I shouldn't even have to explain this. This is like child's play. It doesn't make sense for a promoter who's studied his father and inherited a business and been around boxing promotionally since he was a child. And he's doing stuff like telling the public that he made an offer to fight Charlo for massive money to get the fans going. And come to find out, he's admitting out his own mouth that he did it via social media. I mean, just what part of the game is that? That's like me saying, oh, the love of my life, she did me wrong. And then someone says, Ego, what happened? What happened? And I'm saying, oh, I proposed for her to marry me on Snapchat and she never replied to me. I mean, who has a marriage proposal and they propose to a potential fiance or spouse or significant other or whatever, and they do it via social media like that? What part of the game is that? Why would you send an offer to Charlo's DM? Like, that's not how business is conducted. I know, like I always knew, but this is further proof that this man and this man that you see on screen is absolutely the reason the Wilder Joshua fight never happened. Because look at the game. Look at the games. And as soon as Wilder said he'll go to the UK and Shelly Finkel did that interview with ESPN, conveniently the WBA orders Joshua to fight Povetkin with 24 days. You know, he has to sign within 24 hours. And it took weeks to announce the fight and do a press conference. Bro, this is looking bad for DAZN, looking bad for Eddie Hearn. Again, I can understand you want Charlo to fight against Andrade, but he has to know that that is not the way that business is conducted. I know that, you know, and I'm not even, you know, making proposals or whatever. So he's doing these things, and look at Charlo. He's on a private jet or whatever, and he says today was a good day, fight day coming soon. Look how Charlo's being moved. He's enjoying life. And this is sad. This is sad for Andrade, because Andrade is fighting Lucas Keeler, who nobody knows, especially in America, the week of Super Bowl, on the day of DJ Khaled's concert 5 minutes away with DaBaby, Meg Thee Stallion, Meek Mill, some of the hottest hip hop artists. Eddie Hearn does not know the landscape of America. And he staged Andrade in a main event that people haven't even heard of. Meanwhile, Charlo's career is booming, both of them. You know, they're getting treated well. They're getting exposure. They're fighting on Showtime or Fox. They're getting shoulder programming. They're getting promoted. Not getting promoted with just mere words like, hey, this guy we know you want to see Andrade fight. We sent him an offer, massive money, to try to make him look bad, to make it look like he's ducking Andrade, and then get the, you know, the idiots in the fan sections and the comment sections to run around and saying that Charlo's ducking Andrade off of what Eddie Hearn told you. This is a bad look, people. But wait, there's more. This is an interview 5 days ago with Andrade. Listen.
Is there anything buzzing on that? Because you guys have been.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm glad we got that clear, people.
Have you gotten anywhere back that was where Eddie Hearn threw an offer out to Charlo to get you guys going? Is there anything buzzing on that? Because you guys have been, you know, it's been squaring off a long time, and obviously be a match, a unification match everybody wants to see.
Yeah, you know, right now I believe Eddie Hearn is probably just focused on me getting past this fight, this Luke Killer fight right now, and anything after that we will, you know, put more attention into as far as making that deal, or even the other way around, saying, you know, Showtime offer me a big deal, and then I go over to Showtime for one fight and fight them.
Yeah.
You know, but they're running around saying that they're their own.
So that was the interview Andrade did after Eddie Hearn released this, alleged bombshell about we offered Charlo money, and he didn't want it. They're just it's the old smoke and mirrors trying to make it look like Charlo is just scared or doesn't want to fight, and justify Andrade fighting someone that no one wants to see him fight because this is all you could get him, or these are the big fights, so you have to place the blame. That's what this is about. Let's make Charlo and PBC look bad because I can't land a big event for my great fighter who's very skilled, Demetrius Andrade. This is just a bad look. I told you Eddie Hearn and DAZN were struggling with boxing in America. Again, you guys leverage this through your own minds. Let me know when the last major fight that people wanted to see, a unification, and everything was done via Instagram. Why would you send? That's not even a formal announcement. First of all, you shouldn't even, if you want to make a fight with this man, he's not Floyd Mayweather yet, So you shouldn't even reach out to him. You know how to get a fight made. Everybody knows. Listen, I'm not a fighter. I'm not a promoter. But I feel if I had a fighter that I wanted to fight him, I would know the channels that I need to go through. It's just like a great swimmer. The different channels, and you could feel the flow of the current, so you know how to swim and go with it. How does Eddie Hearn, who's done some business with Al Haymon in past fights, i.e. last year, 2 fights with Joshua, Al Haymon, fighter, Ruiz, right? Now all of a sudden you're sending offers through Instagram. I mean, it's just, come on, bro. It's just you want something to blabber to the media about, to have fans justify why Andrade's fighting Keeler and use this man's clout that he's getting because his brand is growing rapidly. And it's sad because Andrade, in my personal opinion, covering boxing, I knew a lot more about Andrade from HBO and stuff and his Vanes Matarosa fight before Charlos were even booming. But guess what? Performance and profile wise, because of how Andrade was managed before Eddie Hearn and even with Eddie Hearn, Charlos have surpassed his level of exposure and the brand building. Charlos weren't really relevant when Andrade was fighting Vanes Matarosa. They were just like twins coming up, if anything. But since that point, look at them headlining Barclays and, doing great ratings on Showtimes and Fox and stuff like that. I told you branding is important. Marketing is important. But, this is just foul from Eddie Hearn to try to make it look like he doesn't know the game. Like, why would you go through the fighter as opposed to, or a fighter's Instagram or even anybody's Instagram? See, and the other thing that makes no sense is I know fighters for a fact, some of the higher up ones, not usually as much the lower tier fighters who aren't megastars, but I know some fighters who are, who made millions before. And some of them don't even do their own social handles. Like they have a secret handle, if anything, but their main profile is managed and updated via a PR person or personal assistant or something like that. So it's like professional photo shoot pictures and they just upload. In fact, I have some intel that says Joshua doesn't do all of his own tweets, so Eddie Hearn should know this. I know this from being in the industry. Eddie Hearn should know this. So why would you send an offer to Charlo? You really want him to fight Andrade. First of all, Andrade has to get past Lucas Keeler. So why would you even be sending offers? It's just desperation, people. So Andrade already has a fight. We just seen J-Rock Williams. I'm not saying this will happen to Andrade, but we just seen J-Rock lose to somebody he wasn't supposed to lose to, right? So he has to get past that. And anyway, you're just trying to create, it's clout chasing. You're just trying to create a narrative and get people talking. But beyond that, like I just said, some fighters don't even manage their social media accounts 100% themselves. They have handlers that do that and personal assistants and whatnot. So why would you be negotiating through the fighter directly at all, but let alone through a fighter and you don't even know who you're talking to? What if you're talking to Charlo's bag boy or, you know, a personal assistant or strength and conditioning coach and you making deals? That's not how deals are made, especially when you have the dichotomy of networks involved and platforms. DAZN, Charlo ain't never fought on DAZN yet, you know? So now you have to do a joint venture, get Charlo to come to DAZN, get Andrade to go to Showtime, Fox. That would be beyond the power and the control and the tax bracket of just the fighter. The fighter, how is the fighter going to facilitate the network deal and say, hey, this fight's going on Fox as opposed to Showtime? So Eddie Hearn knows the game, and he's trying to play fans by making it look like this. So it's just sad, really. I'm pretty sure I don't have to say anything else. I'm pretty sure you could see it. This is not how business is conducted. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense if you want to make a fight for real to go through the fighter when there's other variables that have to be explored that would be beyond the fighter. Andrade, Charlo, they probably want to fight each other. They'll fight each other. You know, they're fighters. But beyond what's over their head would be what network it goes on. What's on? Like, what if that network, like, let's say Fox is doing something for football. The Charlo, no matter how much he wants to fight, if it was going to go on Fox and they already have something scheduled, the Grammys or whatever, then that would be beyond his control. So he wouldn't be able to make that decision. So AKA, you have no business going through Instagram to conduct business. Bars. We out.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.